What's going on, guys? Welcome to an updated mod spotlight on Zamok's Advanced Crafting Table, also known as XACT. You may have seen my previous video on this mod, and it's been updated quite a bit since my last video, so I figured I would do a new spotlight on it. So let's get started. First thing right off the bat is there is a change to the vanilla crafting table. So if we put in a recipe into the vanilla crafting table, like so, and we close the interface, hey look, nothing came out. Items will now stay in your crafting table when you close the interface, so that's a pretty handy thing. And if you, for whatever reason, don't like that feature, you can disable it in the configuration file. So now we get to the mod itself. We'll start with my first little crafting table here, which contains the recipe for recipe chips. Just some iron and some paper. So we will take a few of these. And so yeah, these are basically just little blueprints for your recipes that you enter into your crafting table or your crafter, the XACT crafter. So this is a recipe here, some chips, some ingots, crafting table, and some glass. Nothing too expensive. So we'll take one of these and we will put it down over here. So if we open it up, we see the XACT crafter interface. So basically how this works is you draw your recipe in here like you normally would, and then you can store it in a chip. So for instance, let's take some sticks and we'll make a gear. So you right click in here, and you can see that I still have 4 sticks on my cursor. That's because when you right click in here, it just kind of puts the icon for the item and not the actual item itself. So now we see we have wood gear. So if we take this stick out of the supply here, you can see it lights up red. So anything that's red tells you there's not enough items down here to complete that recipe. So if we put 1 stick in here, see 1 turns off, and then 2, 3, 4. So now we can simply click on this and we'll receive our wooden gear. Easy peasy. So let's just redo this real quick. Okay, it's already in there, never mind. So we just put the items back in here, and now that we're available, so we can make another gear. So now if we take one of our chips, we put it in any one of these 4 slots. You can see a check mark comes up here, all 4 slots. So if you click on this check mark, like so, now we have the wood gear encoded into this recipe chip. So now all we have to do is, so let's just do an example here. Let's take everything out of here. We'll left click or right click to clear these out of here. So now if we take this wooden gear recipe chip, slap it in here. Now if we try to see, we put your mouse on it and it lights up the recipe in the grid here, and it tells us we need sticks. So we'll put some sticks in here. Now all we have to do is left click on here and we get a gear. Left click here and we get a gear. Just like that. So as well as writing recipes, if you hold shift, you get an X. It's like before we got a check mark. Well, we have to have a recipe first, obviously, but check mark here, if you hold shift, we get an X, so we can clear the recipe out of this one. And then we can add it to this one. Easy enough, right? On top of this, you can take any recipe from any eye. So let's, just because we're using wooden gear, we'll bring up the gear menu here, the gear section, and let's see, wooden gear. We'll hit R for recipe because we're in cheat mode. We'll hit the question mark, and now we have that recipe on the table. And you can basically do this for any gear. Just hit the question mark on it. It works for any item. It's almost like you can just use any eye instead of the recipe chips, but there are some good uses for recipe chips, which I'll show you right now. So let's see here. We have a wooden gear. We'll put that in there. Let me clear this out real quick. So let's put recipes in all of these slots. Now, if we put a wooden gear here, so cobble around it, we have a stone gear. So we'll write the stone gear recipe there, and we'll take a stone gear. Clear this one out, put that in there, and now we'll make an iron gear, and we'll write that recipe there. And then we will finally make a golden gear, and write that recipe there. So now if we have all the materials in here, we should be able to quickly make our gears. So for instance, iron gear, we need a stone gear for that first, so we'll just click on this, and then we'll click on this, and we'll click on this. So I mean, it's a good way to have a production chain of gears. So that's one possible use case for this. Now, we'll move on a little bit here. Let's see. Let's take one more crafting table. XACT crafter. And we'll bring it down here. Just to demonstrate. Let's see, where's our wood gear recipe? We'll put that in there. And we need some sticks. So we'll put sticks in here. And we'll see the sticks will start coming in here. And just like many other Buildcraft related items or tech related mods, you can fill up your inventory in the item with Buildcraft. Now, as far as I know, you cannot use Buildcraft or red power tubes to extract any of the recipes out. You can just use them to put items into the chest or into the crafter. So there's a little bit of automation there that you can take advantage of. And so let me go get my recipe chip back out here real quick and show you one other feature. If I hold shift, you can quickly see down here that it will show you what the recipe or the end result is of this recipe chip. So it's a really quick way of seeing what the different recipe chips in your inventory will do. Now, another thing is you cannot stack recipe chips. That's where this item comes in, which is the chip case. You can see the recipe again is fairly straightforward. So we'll take this, and then you just hold it in your hand and right click. And there's our chip case. You can shift click our recipes up there, and they will stack up to 30 recipe chips in this one chip case. And as you can see, if you mouse over it, stored 4 chips. And if you mouse over the recipe, you will see, obviously on the left hand side, that you get the final product at the top as well as the recipe below it. So that is quite useful. And then, last but not least, we have a really cool addition, which is the craft pad. So we'll take one of these, and what this is a portable crafting table, which actually uses chips. So let me just get a chip out real quick. Let's take wooden gear chip, and I left all my sticks down here. Bring this up, and we put our wooden gear in here, and we click this, and it takes the ingredients right from your inventory. So pretty slick, and you shift click and it will pretty much consume, it'll build as many as it can. So that is pretty much the advanced crafting table in a nutshell. It's a very useful mod, good alternative to a lot of other workbench type mods, including the project table from Red Power. It's definitely improved over that, and definitely fits in well with any tech mods that you may be using. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will try to keep you updated on this mod as it progresses.